We start with breaking news tonight. A large wildfire is nearly contained tonight. Dozens forced from their homes can now return. Firefighters from all over the area were on scene, and tonight they're working to make sure it stays out. Fire officials tell us it started at Fort Chaffee and is now near Greenwood in Sebastian County.
We have been on the scene all night long tonight, talking with community members, officials, and first responders. We will have team coverage with 5 News Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge and 5 News reporter Michael Wilson. Thanks for joining us for your 5 News at 10. I'm Darren Bobb.
And I'm Erica Thomas. We begin our team coverage tonight with Matt, who's been following these firefighters tonight right on the front lines. Matt, what's the latest now and how much of this fire is contained?
So the latest right now is that everyone has been able to return home safe. I want to hit a couple things really quick. The most important. First off, no one's been hurt. Everyone is fine here in Greenwood. But I tell you what, it's kind of an eerie scene because we're walking here on the north side of Greenwood. I'm on Hilltop Drive. Smells like smoke. And I know the sun has gone down, but we've got some lights out here. You can still see some of that smoke. And talking with firefighters, this smoke may actually last for a couple of days. So it's still going to smell like this for a while. But this fire started on Fort property. This started on Fort Chaffee. We had a north wind come in right around 5:30 when that fire started, and it blew some of the fire south into residential areas here on the north side of Greenwood. No homes were impacted, but about just under 20 acres of private property were burned, mainly a lot of brush, a lot of forest, some grass. But once again, it started in Fort Chaffee, it spread south to Greenwood, and that's where Greenwood has set up basically this wall of firefighters and first responders to help protect. They brought in dozers. What they did with the dozers is they actually cleared a lot of the vegetation so that as a fire spreads, once it hits a bare spot, the likelihood of it passing that bare spot goes down. It could jump, but the winds have died down, so that's some really good news. But the dozers were out. I will tell you, the status is unknown, though, at the military base. That's just a whole different situation. We know this is about 95% contained on the south side. So if you think about it, think of a box. The north side of this box, that's Fort Chaffee. That is their situation that they're dealing with. We do not have details on how that is going on the northern front. On the southern front is where we have Greenwood. That's where we have the best situation right now. Folks are being able to stay home safely. Now, the Sebastian County and the firefighters they've all told me that if you do see a flame, to call the non-emergency number and they will come out here. They're gonna have firefighters out here all night just keeping tabs, but if you do see a flame, you need to call. If you see embers, they're actually gonna be okay. So that's one thing that they wanted residents to know. But the Arkansas side, where you've got Sebastian County, you've got Greenwood, and you've got the Forestry Department, things are good tonight. So that is some good news. We will not know the military side until they finish an investigation, and if they release that information, we will let you guys know. But residents are safe. I tell you what, residents were really shaken up here just a little bit earlier today. We want to send it over to, we were talking earlier with Mayor Kinslow of Greenwood on how the community responded earlier.
All the residents here and above the hill up here have been standing by with water and snacks for the firemen and everybody involved. So it's just as always, sorry. That's a community thing. So we were here all my life, and this is home, so yeah.
And then right around 6 o'clock, the Forestry Division called us and we got them a forecast on what the winds were doing. And just coming up here in a bit, we're gonna talk about how the winds impacted this fire and impacted Greenwood. Live in Greenwood, covering the news where you live. I'm 5 News Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge. Send it back into you. We'll have more details coming up soon.
All right, Matt, thanks. The fire started near Fort Chaffee, as he mentioned, quickly spread, threatening homes in the Hilltop edition of Greenwood. Greenwood Fire was working to stop the fire from spreading by soaking the ground, but the fire jumped several fire breaks. In the Hilltop area, dozens of people were forced out of their homes for a time tonight.
We continue our team coverage tonight with 5 News reporter Michael Wilson. And Micah, you talked with homeowners in the area?
Yeah, Darren, Eric, and I'm actually less than a mile south of where Matt was. And when we got here, I can tell you that it was filled with heavy smoke. It was hard to breathe as well as see at times. When we got here about 3 hours ago, it was probably described as mild chaos. The street was filled with fire crews watering homes as well as police here, and residents just trying to pack up, ready to leave at a moment's notice.
I live by myself and my little dog. I'm 82.
Donna Stam has called this neighborhood home for about 3 years.
We don't want to evacuate our homes.
She, along with neighbors, packed up what they could.
You don't know what to do first, you know, what to save, you know.
And watered their homes Tuesday evening as a fire neared.
And he said to just be prepared, ready, clothes on and shoes on to be ready to head out the door if it does come to that.
Faithfully Montez, her husband, animals, and 2 kids were home when the fire began to grow.
First it was just the smoke, like I just saw a huge cloud of like brown smoke over there, and then it just started like covering the whole, like all up there.
She saw ashes falling from the sky and jumped into action, preparing for the worst. By 8 Tuesday evening, she was given the clear, but it's staying on her toes.
It's a little scary actually, because it's like, would it be the last minute when they come knocking on the door?
Now, crews on the ground here and some folk in Little Rock told me that they'll be out here for the next days and even hours making sure that no fire does spread here. But when speaking with people, they were ready to go, packing up. I actually spoke with the man who says he had to get his friend's dog out of that home here behind me because his friend was actually at the hospital with the baby, and he was hoping that he had a home to come back to bring that baby home to. For now, we're live here in Greenwood, covering news where you live. Michael Wilson, 5 News.
All right, Micah, thanks. Now, this fire, so massive, it showed up on weather radars. That was one of our first indicators that something was going on this evening. We continue our team coverage now with meteorologist Stephen Elmore in the Weather Center. Stephen?
Yeah, we saw this show up on radars throughout the day today, as we'll see it pop up here in a minute, just outside of Fort Chaffee. Again, we saw this plume of smoke starting to populate right there. And just a reminder that over 60% of the state right now is seeing those burn bans right now. And we're not going to see a real close end to it, as we don't have any rain in the forecast all the way until we get to the weekend. So these dry conditions are here to stay for quite a while.
All right, Stephen, thanks. Since we first got word of that fire, we've been receiving all kind of photos and videos showing the scary situation pretty much unfold all night tonight.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of those images now. You can see these photos that have been sent in from people across the region, seeing this as far north as Alma, as far south as Huntington. That smoke spreading for miles, and it was quite the view all across the region. We have a number of photos and videos posted from viewers like you on our website right now at 5newsonline.com. If you'd like to follow our complete coverage, we'll have that posted throughout the evening.